Yo, what is up, you guys? So in today's video, I'm going to kind of take you through my thought process. A little trick I kind of do when I'm writing stuff or just trying to come up with ideas. So right here I have a session where all I do in this session is just come up with ideas. So let me actually kind of take it off the screen. So as you can see, you see a lot of like little blocks of 4 bars or 8 bar increments, and each one of those represents like a different part in itself. So if we just click around on some of these, so you get the idea. They're all different types of parts, and it's really just a session for me to come in and just start writing. So I think I did a video a very long time ago that was 7 days to writing a better song or something like that, and the idea behind that, I'll link that video down below if I can find it. The idea behind that video was, you know, to take 1 day to just focus on one aspect of production, and then by the end of the week just put all those different things together to make a track. Everything in this session, if you're going to set this up for yourself, it's a really good idea, because then you can just export the MIDI to the ones that are really awesome. But basically all you need to do is just have a simple drum section going on, so just your basic kick and maybe a loop or something like that to spice it up so it's not too boring to listen to. And then just, you know, for me, I use a couple of silent patches from my bank, and then some massive patches from another video I did not too long ago about pads and stuff with the bypass mod. So I just use a couple of those, and I don't really do anything to them. I just leave everything very boring. I just group process it, so you can see I just have basic things like a little bit multi-band compression, some side chaining, a little bit of mid-side, a sausage fattener to limit it, and then everything else is just more silent patches. So that's really not what's important here. It's just all basic stuff. And the only other fancy thing I might do in here is just have a little bit of reverb on a send, so I can just send things to that. So point is, everything is just going to sound really basic, and the idea of that is just to let me have the creative freedom to just write and not worry about sound design or whatever. I never do sound design in the session. Let's just copy one of these over, and what I'll do here is I'll just delete this. Some people like to just kind of start drawing stuff or play stuff on keyboard. I'm really not a great keyboard player. I'm really better at drawing in stuff. So some people like to draw in a rhythm first. So, you know, they'll just do a basic pattern, and then they'll add the harmonics to that. And so, you know, they'll go up to a 7th or something, and then go up an octave higher from the root note. So F1 is my root note, that's the key of the scale, so I'll go up an octave from there, and I already have a 7th there, so this is a basic, you know, nice chord or whatever. So some people just like to get the rhythm and just start copying those kind of things, and then they'll just duplicate that, and then, you know, up and down a few notes, and then just booyaka, there you have a basic, actually if I bring this down one more, that's a basic progression right there in 4 bars. Alright, so I wrote something super quickly, just because this is a video and I don't want to be too perfectionist and try to save some time about it. So now I can just, because I set up the session before, now I can just kind of copy the MIDI around and then start changing it to fit certain layers. So, okay, hold down Control, and let's see, where else do I want to put this? So some layers I'll need to take out some MIDI. So I know this is a top layer, so if we look at the MIDI over here, you can see that it's just really, I just muted out the other notes, so that way I just have the top line. So that becomes my melody. So let's do that here. So let's select all that, blah, blah, blah. Let's listen to it. And it's really effective to also have a melody line type of layers, so that way you can rewrite your melodies and make them a lot tighter and a lot better, and then you can just copy that onto the other layers. So sometimes I don't like to have the top line on just the other random chord layers, and I'll just have it be basically just the chord itself and not the top line with it. But sometimes I like to really emphasize it, so then it's okay to have it on a bunch of layers, but not always. And so let's see, I know this layer I have to take out the bottom line because it'll be too subby, or too bassy, too muddy, so I'll do that there. I'll just take out the top line as well. And so basically, because of how I set up this session, I can take something like that, something that I wrote really fast, and then immediately turn it into what could basically preview it as an idea. And if I don't like it, I just make another, and I don't delete anything, because you'll be surprised how often you'll come back to something and then want to rework it, and it'll sound really cool. So let's just listen to it now. So kind of has like a sort of progressive trance sort of thing going on, but the one thing you learn about writing so many progressions and melodies one after another in a session like this is you really start to figure out your kind of style. You kind of figure out what you like more. So definitely it's good to experiment in here and be that, yeah, because when you're writing a track, you don't really experiment as much. I feel like you just kind of keep erasing and starting over with your ideas to keep the linear way of writing more efficient and not all clunky and messy, because once a session becomes messy, it kind of discourages the experimentation part of it, I feel like. So here you're just free to just keep going on and on and on, just keep writing. So you don't have to delete anything. You can come back to it, rework it, and you find out what you like. So I figured out that I like rest notes a lot. So rest notes are basically where you just, well, it is what it is. You just put a rest in. So that's why I like to write first, and then I'll just add in a rest like that. So I'll just make these notes inactive. They're still there, but they won't play. So that's what that means. So I can just now sort of copy this. And so I figured out about myself that I like on the third bar to add a rest in there. I feel like that is a really fun thing to do. So actually, in this one, I'll just go in here and just booyah like that. So I might want to move these up actually. So I might want to just put it right there on the second beat of that bar right there. So let's just do that. I forgot to do that. So and I think I have a video about all these kind of MIDI piano roll type shortcuts, so I'll link that down below if I can remember that. It's really great and fun to work in Ableton if you know all the key commands and all that, because a lot of people always complain about Ableton being too complicated and blah blah blah, but that can be said about any DAW really. So let's listen to it now. Yeah, so that's everything I want to show you guys. So thanks guys for watching, and if you guys want me to continue this as a series, you know, where I just write random stuff and then kind of explain what I'm thinking as I'm doing it. So thanks guys for watching, and of course, lates.